I'm Shayr Guthrie, and this is Red Hot Reads, bringing you the latest updates on all your favorite authors, books, and tidbits in the romance world. Today, I had the opportunity to talk to New York Times bestselling author Maya Banks. Take a look. First, I wanted to ask you, of course, about Burn, which is the third book in your Breathless trilogy.
All right.
I'm glad that you saved Ash for last because I have to say he's my favorite out of the three guys.
He's my favorite too.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
You know what? I think that we may have the same taste because I read somewhere else that in the K.G.I. series that Donovan is your favorite.
Yep.
Is that true?
Yes.
He's my favorite too, and I can't wait. I mean, that'll be a whole other subject. We'll talk about that one in a minute.
Okay.
But first, tell us about Ash and what can we expect in Burn?
Well, in the first two books, Ash is kind of presented as a more laid-back, kind of charming, easygoing guy. But it's because you're seeing him you're not in his head. You're seeing him the way other people see him. And I tried to drop a few hints in those first two books that there may be more to him, than meets the eye. So in his book, the readers get into his head for the very first time. And so they see that he's actually a very intense, very passionate, and very loving, guy. It's like getting to see, him for who he really is, when you get to his book.
Right. It's funny that you say that because that's actually, just the little hints that you did drop in the other books, I was getting that because he is so loyal and he always wants to take care of. And I could sense that there was a lot more there.
Oh,
there were
yes,
a lot of
absolutely.
layers.
Yes, I always knew from the very beginning, before I even wrote the first book, I knew that he would be even more intense than even Gabe and Jace, who were pretty intense in their own right, but I always knew that Ash would be, kind of the dark horse in the trilogy.
Well, how is he going to move forward with a relationship? Is he going to have a monogamous relationship? Is he going to be able to handle that?
Oh, absolutely. Because one of the things in his book, he readily admits that he didn't fully understand Jace in the beginning. When Jace met Bethany, he didn't really understand what drove him to just this all-consuming desire for this one woman, and she was going to be it, and he never had a desire for any other woman. And he readily admits that in Burn until he meets Josie, and then he understands.
Then he doesn't want to share.
Exactly. It's kind of a resolution to his own relationship with Jace, which was a little bit strained in Fever, because now that Ash is in that same position that Jace is in, he understands where his friend was coming from. He gets it now because he feels that exact same way for Josie. And so now everything that his friend was going through in Fever, Ash understands now because he's going through that same thing with Josie, and it's very frustrating for him that he can't just wave a magic wand and fix everything and make, all their problems go away, and he can't make Josie accept him. He has to work at it.
Exactly, and he's so charming and charismatic. He's used to having everybody kind of fall at his feet.
Yes, absolutely. So, it was a very fun book to write because Ash had a lot of growing to do himself, just like Josie had a lot of growing to do from where she is in her life at the beginning of the book to where she, reaches by the end of the book. I feel like both Ash and Josie do a lot of growing over the course of their book, and I really, really enjoyed. I mean, theirs was my favorite book. And I always knew it was going to be my favorite book. I mean, I was so impatient to get to their book. It was frustrating for me to have to write, the first two books because I wanted to write his book so badly, but I knew that it had to be the last one.
Right. Well, I have a feeling it's going to be the most fulfilling one, at least for me.
I
feel
hope
like that's
so.
where I'm going to feel the most complete. And I feel like it's going to be probably the biggest emotional journey out of all three of them. And so it's going to be a fun little ride.
Yeah, I hope so, because I never want to disappoint readers. And like I said, it's my favorite. I love it the most of the three. And so I'm really hoping that readers agree with me, and some won't, some will. But, at the end of the day, I can only write, what I'm passionate about and then just hope for the best.
Well, I think when you're passionate about something, it definitely follows through. And I think I have just one more question that I can ask you.
Sure.
And it's just my favorite series, which is what I fell in love with you, which is the K.G.I. series.
That's actually my favorite series, too.
That's so funny. I think we got a lot in common. So I just wanted to see, I did just finish Forged in Steel, and I wanted to see you drop some hints about what is going to be possibly the next book. You put Hancock out there, and of course, Donovan was around a lot, and of course he was saying, no, not me. So which one is...
it's not a secret. It's been, the book is already up for pre-order. Donovan is next. He will be book 8. His book is called After the Storm, and it releases the last Tuesday in December. And I have cover and blurb already up on my website, and it's already up for pre-order. And I'm, was waiting until after Burn released, but over the next couple of months, I'll be dropping, some tidbits and some little excerpts on Facebook like I do with all my books. I'll be giving readers, a little sneak peek at Donovan's book, because especially he's a lot of people's favorite, and a lot of people have really been looking forward, to his book.
That's wonderful. I'm going to immediately go out and pre-order it to my Nook, and so I will be one of the first ones to read that one for sure.
Awesome. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's worth the wait.
Thank you. Oh, I'm sure it is, especially if it was your favorite. I'm sure I'll feel all the passion that you put in there. Well, I am wishing you so much success with Burn. I can't wait to read it. And thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
If you'd like to find out more of what we have going on, visit us on Facebook, Red Hot Reads, and our sister page, Two Geek Girls Review Books. I'm Shayr Guthrie, and this is Red Hot Reads.